So this was one of the things that the inspector didn't like, and I'm getting it fixed up. I just wanted to point out one of those things that an inspector might want you to take care of or kind of cause concern with the property purchaser. So here we had a crack that traveled, and you can see it kept traveling right out of the garage. No expansion joint. I don't know if in garages they normally do that or not. Here they didn't. There's a tree right back there. There used to be a tree there, so I'm gonna fix this up. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've chipped away any loose chunks. More or less they were pieces of stone, and an air gun is really good to do this. I didn't have a compressed air blower, so to not have to go buy something else, I used my shop vac. And if you don't have one of these, they're handy to have. I've got this big one from Home Depot. These things are about $75 generally around Thanksgiving for a slightly smaller one. This is a 16-gallon. It's a big mamma jammer, and it barely fits in the trunk of the car, so the 12-gallon probably would have been adequate. So I'm gonna take this chip brush, a sponge, anything like that's real good to do, and I'm gonna wet this crack, and then we'll start spreading the mortar. Now, I bring all our own tools, so you see I've got floats, I've got trowels, everything I need. And these masonry mixing tubs are about $6 to $10 depending, I think they have two different sizes. Just go to your local Menards. They're very multi-use. You'll get a lot of use out of it. It's worth it. Their discounted mortar mixes are $5 a bag generally, and it's because they're leaking. So they repackage it, which is great for storing it in your garage, but it's just the Mastercraft mortar mix. And there you go. We're gonna mix in some water there, not too wet. You don't want it like drywall mud, just you know, coarse texture. We're gonna mix in a little water at a time till we got it just right. You could use a gardening trowel. These masonry mixing trowels or hose are super duper for it because you can get it just right. All right, so just to show you the mix I got here, see, kind of like wet sand, not too much. I got my bucket. I decided to go ahead and grab a scrub brush, make a little quicker job out of it. So we're just gonna work that in there. The trick is about it sticking is the wet. You want wet concrete of your old stuff so that it's going to bond together. It's going to help work as a bonding agent. So I'm just going to work this along, filling that in just a little bit at a time. And then when I'm all done, like I said, I'll take the brush over it. I'll take the big brush here. It doesn't take a lot. And we'll have this fixed up with no concern for today's new homeowner. That's how we're fixing her up. All right, here's how everything turned out for today. I did decide to try it with a sponge, and I did not like the way it was taking off so much extra of the mortar. And in those areas, I had decided that they were exceptionally low. You can see just a little bit of a shadow right here. As that crack is drying, it's darker because it's more wet. So it's filling up. The new buyer stopped by. They really appreciated the work that we were doing on it. So I've got to pick up a few more supplies so that we have enough to go through tomorrow. I went through the whole driveway with the power washer, and that's going to be a whole nother video. All right, so this is a good tip for any of you people who are interested in painting your garage or your patio, you know, any kind of basement area. This has been a paint mixing area for working on the house for a long time. And when my son was little, he got paint all over the floor. And because there's drywall out here, it's not a good situation for power washing. And a gallon of uric acid, the risk, the chemicals and everything running down into the city drain at the end of the driveway is a bad idea. So we're doing what we did on the outside is this type S mortar mix. It has Portland in it. You mix it to a soupy paint-like consistency and you brush it on. So we did the driveway yesterday, and these cracks have all dried now for 2 days. We're gonna go over all of it with the mortar mix. It's called Portland paint when you do it this way. We're gonna go up the cement block on the foundation, right up over here, and it's gonna look like all new room. This is about $7 a bag, and this is not gonna take a full bag. It is 60 pounds, or is it, oh, this is 80 pounds. So we'll have leftovers from this job to do any touch-ups that we need to do. Now, it started raining this morning, so we're gonna leave the approach on the other side of the garage for another day and just work on this inside section.
No, we're gonna do it because you got 4 foot overhang.
Oh, that's right, we do have the big overhangs, so it should be dry enough. Okay, so I'm gonna use a chip brush. This is real stiff. Wallpaper brushes are real stiff too. And I'm gonna go around the edges and then he's gonna follow behind me. The trick is that you have to get the area wet first with a scrub brush. So we have this heavy duty brush and he's gonna get it wet for me, and I'm gonna go along the edge. The trick with this is that the water makes your new mortar bond to the concrete block or the concrete floor that was already there. So I'll just show you. It's pretty wet. Will you get this front block right here?
Yeah, I will.
Well, just so that I don't have to come back to it, and then you can, however. Now keep in mind, you don't want it too wet, and you can even do it with just a spray bottle misting it, or a sponge, yeah. Just surface wet. You don't want puddles of water, so anything that he's getting a little dribbly, he's gonna spread out over the whole garage. And the nice thing about this is, the only thing I have to do is not get it on the wall. And it's gonna be a lot faster than doing like a cut in on a room, because you're just spreading it out. Hi. Hmm? Yeah. Yeah. Murdoch paint. Well, we already knew how it was going to react. Yep. Did you put the power washer out back? Okay. I'll go do that.
Might take a couple of coats in here. Smooth.
Yeah.
Where the concrete got rough and it's damaged, it lulls it.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's thin, obviously, you don't want to hold on. You can't hold it as much.
Yeah.
Not using as much.
Well, do you need to add a little more to it?
No. It's drying fast inside.
Mm-hmm.
This will be a multiple coat job, I'm sure. Because of that. Just gonna be here doing it, or you, and I'll go sit in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing your thing?
Mm-hmm.
No problem. It'll be as good as anybody's to get that camera up.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're gonna like spill and need that much water. I could use it up there. Some other set that's going on, I don't know.
Yeah.
All those little divots and damages are all getting filled right in.
Yeah. I mortared where there was a little bit of a mortar split between the foundation blocks or footing blocks, whatever, and I kept finding more, so I put it on real thick in those spots just now.
No problem.
Mhm.
Nothing's compared to what we did yesterday. I don't know.
Nope. And the whole thing, like you don't notice it because it's wet, it's gonna dry lighter than it is. Than the old floor.
Probably shouldn't do that.
Probably not, you're gonna splatter on the walls that have already been painted.
So I probably shouldn't do that.
Probably not.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if you heard me or not, but I already said that.
Better knock it off.
I don't know if you heard me there a minute ago when I was talking about how probably shouldn't do that.
Watch out for your post. Your post.
Right there?
Yeah. Your board up above is split. Don't. Remember you kind of ran some screws on an angle?
Not really.
Take it easy, man.